Welcome back, R&M Nation. We are here with another roundtable discussion episode, and with this topic, we are going to be talking about Demon Slayer Season 2, Mugen Train and Entertainment District Arc. Now then, before we get started, I want to say this is going to be the spoiler warning right here. If you haven't seen Mugen Train, if you haven't seen the Entertainment District Arc, we're going to be talking about all of that and more. So be sure to watch that and come back to this video. Now then, let's get started. So this season is pretty interesting. I mean, we had a movie, which we discussed last year when it came out. However, with Season 2, it began with a TV version of that movie. And essentially, what we found out while watching the TV version is it's pretty much one-to-one. So you can go in and watch the movie, you can go ahead and watch the episodes, and they're pretty much exactly the same. So we've already talked about Mugen Train before in a previous discussion. However, we now have Brown Bear, who wasn't a part of that initial discussion. He's able to give his thoughts. So while we've seen it, we want to hear your thoughts on the movie, Mugen Train.
Yeah, we'll appreciate it, Mugen, from Mugen Train. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mugen Train, a very good movie. But like you said, they did have overlap in Season 2, where the first, I believe, 8 episodes were just Mugen Train's plot, verbatim, just in a more episodic format for the show. They've done it in a couple other shows as well. But I guess my viewing experience was a little bit different than others, since y'all were able to go see Mugen Train in theaters and then kind of sit on it, let that digest for a little bit. I pretty much ran through Mugen Train and the Entertainment District Arc all at the same time, so I have not had the same time to digest it as y'all have. Plus, running through it again in Season 2 as it was coming out, running week by week, assuming that y'all were caught up as it was coming out. It does hit a little bit differently for me. Now, let me get all the good stuff out of the way. Mugen Train is a fantastic movie. I think it's a great, strong start for the series. If they do more movies, I'm pretty sure they're going to do more movies for this. It's a great character piece. I think Rengoku is an amazing character. He got his time in the sun, no pun intended, but he really did become like the main focus of the movie, and you got to just see more of this character. Now, I was wondering to myself, like, okay, they're giving him a whole lot of attention and plot. Usually that means one of two things. He's either going to be relevant for the entire series, or they're going to kill him. And sure enough, they just kill him off. So in my mind, one of the things that didn't hit for me as much is the emotional impact, because coming off of Season 1, we just met the character. You don't know a whole lot about them. He seems a little quirky, just like the rest of them. Each of them have their own little things. You have the quiet one, the girl, the whatever characters in there trying to, the chaos maker, whatever. But Rengoku was just a quirky one, just like the rest of them. And then you got his movie, who was able to expand his character a lot. And you find out he's just a really good individual. And he adds a lot to the story. He both him and Tanjiro, they get along, they understand each other for certain things, and it helps develop Tanjiro as a character as well. Now, that being said, just as shortly as I was starting to get into it and get used to them, it's taken away, and now we move on to the Entertainment District Arc, or the rest of the series. So I'm like, it doesn't stay as much with me because I didn't have that time to process it like y'all did. So like I said, I really enjoyed the movie, the character, lots of things about the film, but it didn't stay with me because I had to continue moving on with the rest of the season.
Yeah,
it was like, and and I'm like, man, it makes me think, like, would that have been different if I experienced it twice over like y'all did, or in some fashion?
It's possible, because while we had time to digest the movie and enjoy it, and of course, you know, we talked about in our last discussion, we didn't know anything about Rengoku going into the movie because you only saw him briefly in Season 1, and you kind of get an impression that all the Hashira are like, I don't know, not necessarily kind people, but you actually once you get to know them and get to experience them, like with specifically with Rengoku, you realize, oh man, he is awesome, and his death left a lasting impact, and you know that emotion kind of stuck with you. Everyone really feels it, and it's something that encapsulates you, and I'm glad they followed up with a lot of the Rengoku stuff, but yeah, like many of us rewatched the TV version, and it kind of brought those feelings back and got you ready for, I guess, what was coming next.
Right.
That's how I felt about it, at least.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, just to keep in line with the show, animation was fantastic. I can't speak well enough about season 2 overall in terms of its art style, animation, and how they do certain scenes. Not just the movie, but also going into season 2 as well. But Mugen Train in general was phenomenal in terms of what it was able to do. I was a little put off by the CG at first, but as they did more with it, and then created all the tentacles in the train and how they were able to do the fluid movements. At one point, I remember very specifically, you had all 3 characters moving very distinctly in the air with these separate tentacles going, and they were able to do their own individual motions, and you get to see it all in front of you at the same time, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty neat technical marvel. And what's pretty cool is that, since you're reusing the movie footage, there could be, with a lesser talented animators, there could be that disconnect between you have movie quality footage, and then going forward it's regresses to TV quality, and there really isn't. It's pretty consistent throughout, for the most part. Just as a side note, there's actually a YouTube video that compares the movie version and the TV version, and just watching that video makes you realize you can watch either or, and it does not matter. You watched the movie and went into the entertainment district arc. You also watched the first episode, which we told you was a full-blown kind of prequel to the movie in a way. It was like a prequel episode that that explores more of Rengoku before you get to see him in Mugen Train. So I guess that was the fair bit of new animation prior to the entertainment district arc that you got, and it was a nice little Rengoku story. You get to see more of him, and you get to at least learn that his father was also a very well respected Hashira that one of the old ladies that he saved remembers, and so I guess it runs in the family.
I'm just gonna say this animation was on point. I'm this animation was legit from 2052, bruh. I don't know if I've ever seen some as beautiful. It was just beautiful. And I understand from Mugen Train, it's a movie. Most anime movies do that. But the fact that not only did they kind of keep, they obviously kept it, for the the second playthrough, I guess you could say, but just going through entertainment district arc, I found myself saying every time, man, we still watching Mugen Train, man. The animation is just top notch. I was blown away, and I'm just man, I've watched a lot of anime, but I don't think I've ever this consistent that. Shout out to whichever studio. I'm not sure the studio that's doing it.
UFO Table.
UFO Table.
Whew, shout out to them.
UFO Table.
Because them boys put on a show. They put on a show. I ain't get. They succeeded, man. I ain't got nothing bad to say on the animation.
Even with the thing about it too is that they save a lot of their great animation for the fights and all that, but just even without the incredible movements or anything, just everything looks so pretty from the compositions, and the lighting and everything works very well. The use of CG, the CG coloring and the CG composition is really top notch, because it makes everything feel like it's high quality, even if it's just fairly static drawings and nothing impressive animation wise up until the fights and all that. But everything looks very uniform that way, and it's quite amazing.
Just blown away, man. Just blown away.
Definitely. But overall thoughts of the movie, specifically on just Mugen Train, it's a fantastic movie. I have every intention of picking it up whenever it comes out in some kind of Blu-ray format, because it would look awesome in a home theater setting.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. That's definitely one you gotta own. Even though I'd probably cry every time at the ending.
Revisiting those emotions,
no. God, that sucks so much.
No, it's like, oh god, this is just like last year.
On the second walkthrough, like on the second watch, I'm like,
was
man,
coming.
you knew it was coming.
It was coming.
And it still hit you. It still hit you, man. I was like, man, I gotta watch this again. Like,
And I think it's just more so just with, I don't know, just the potential that Rengoku had, like, as a character to go on in the show, and then they just like cut it short, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what
Yeah.
gets me the most on that.
yeah,
Also,
that's a
I'm
good way
about
to put it.
I'm about to get me a Set Your Heart Ablaze tattoo across my chest.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. But any closing thoughts on Mugen Train before we move on?
Not really. I mean, y'all hit all the major points. It's a fantastic arc. I didn't really think Rengoku was going to last that long because it's like he said, he got a lot of characterization in a very small amount of time.
Yeah.
Usually when that happens, you can pick up that something bad's gonna happen.
When you've watched enough TV and just media in general, like it's just a story beat that you tend to pick up on is
Like, oh, he about to
what
die.
is it, Chekhov's gun or something?
And it's also, the author does have a lot of, like, he actually does respect his own limits when he sets them. It's like, that was upper rank, what was he, 3?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
I really didn't think there was any chance in hell if they struggled that much against lower rank 1.
I mean, paying attention to the fight, like, Akaza is just kind of like, he's begging with him to, like, hey, let me turn into a demon. Like, it would be a shame for you to die right here. Like, he's holding back. Like, he could have killed him at any time, really.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
That is true.
And
There's levels.
exactly. You know, he really wanted him to become a demon because he knows his potential is like it's set so high that it'd be a shame for him to die there. And
Right.
unfortunately, that was not the case. But he went out like spectacularly.
One thing just at least about Mugen Train in particular is what was really chilling to me is I remember the dream demon's name in there.
Enmu.
Okay, Enmu was the main demon in that one. So there was a point towards the end of the movie where he was hypnotizing Tanjiro so many times, and the only way to jostle himself awake is to pretty much suicide himself in his dream to wake up. And he's doing it over and over and over again. And he's been hit so many times that he almost does it in real life. And then that's when Inosuke comes in and says, no, this one's the real one. This is...
It's like, hold up.
It's like...
I think that was part of his plan, though.
Right. That was just like a thought, like, man, that could have just happened a second ago, and he would have done it too.
I think his line was something akin to, that you shouldn't die such a stupid death right here.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, moving on to the Entertainment District arc. We have first of all that new intro, fire.
Banger.
Oh
It was
my
so good.
God.
Certified banger.
Yeah,
It's
so
as flashy and as flamboyant as Uzui.
I was gonna say, yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly for the arc and the
for sure,
characters.
Yeah.
starts out with the fireworks and all that. You can't get any flashier, and the red light district, lit up, and it just looks really nice. And funny, I just kind of mentioned that Lisa has been like the exclusive artist for the opening and endings, and with Mugen Train and even the Mugen Train TV show opening and ending, and then it's like all of a sudden we have a brand new artist for the opening and ending. It's like, what happened to Lisa?
Right.
Right.
She just get fired? I was fooled to thinking it was Lisa at first because I'm a big fan of Ymir, and she really does a great job with these opening and endings.
It's a great opening. I've never had an opening fit so well to just one arc and then like represented so well. Like, oh, like as soon as you start hearing it, this is what we're getting into. We're getting into something fun, lighter. Like it's flashy. Just like the whole theme of the season is that. Essentially,
yeah. But at least with the beginning part of the Entertainment District arc, it at least follows up on a lot of the Mugen Train leftover remaining story tie-ins where Tanjiro goes and visits Rengoku's father and brother and lets him know, and he has a little showdown with his father, and you're like, man, when you see that, you're like, what an asshole. He's just
that headbutt.
Yeah, exactly.
Move. That is a signature move right there, boy. Headbutt. It's like, Tanjiro was bold. Like, he's just going headbutt and Hashiras left and right. Like, he don't care.
Put some respect on Rengoku's name. That's what he said. But I mean, ultimately, you do find out that the father is grieving, and he's just grieving in his own way. And eventually, he does. Like when he was, Rengoku's little brother tells the father, his final words. Whether he just told him, even though he didn't want to hear it. That was the breaking point. And
I think it was take care of yourself, something like that.
Yes, yeah. Very Rengoku like. It hit. Yeah, it hit. But yeah, at least they got that out the way, and you get like a little mini training arc with the three leads. They're trying to, exactly, improve themselves to, follow up on what Rengoku wants them to do.
Shoot, after seeing that fight, they're like, yeah, we got a long way to go. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to definitely put that training arc in there. But then Uzui shows up.
Yeah, Uzui shows up, and you're like, okay, what's this guy's deal? Because we know he's gonna be a really big character in this arc, and then he comes in like an asshole, like, I'm gonna steal you.
Yeah, let me just steal these women real quick.
I need you. Bye. You'll do.
Yeah. What the hell?
Tanjiro wasn't about that. Like,
that's
hold up.
Tanjiro don't care. He fight anybody. He really does not care. Because he was ready. He was like, I'm squaring up. Like, square up.
Signature move. He was ready to do it again. Headbutt.
Yep. And then Inosuke and Zenitsu popped up too. They were like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, that was pretty raw when they just came up like, all right, we're here. Yep. We're back from our training arc.
About to get stomped out by this Hashira, but we gonna try.
Yeah, very true.
Man, they really are squad, man. They got each other's
They squatted
back.
up.
Yeah, they squatted up for real.
Yeah, so I mean, Uzui definitely came in kind of sketchy to me, but I mean,
while he's a little sketchy, he's different from Rengoku in a way. Like he wants to be a showman. He loves to be flashy. He doesn't like to be boring and all that. He lives a flashy life with 3 wives, and you find out that 2 of them have gone missing. So that's essentially what his mission is, to retrieve his wives and go undercover. So eventually, what our three leads. First of all, they make very ugly girls. Let me just say that.
Oh yeah. Let's go on and get that out the way.
Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Like, oh no. Well, Inosuke can at least pass. You remove
somehow out of the 3, it's Inosuke.
As long as he doesn't talk.
Only one. He said, "Keep your mouth shut." You have a husky voice. That was hilarious.
Mountain Man has like these soft features. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, for real. And of course, it's the charm of Uzui that helps them get into these brothels in the first place.
Yeah,
damn sure they wouldn't take him regardless.
That's something that caught me too. Is like the whole thing is like your image is your status in this city, and you're trying to become like the best courtesan or the best head of the brothel or something. Is that's the goal?
Yeah, I guess that's the goal,
All right.
It's viewed very differently from a cultural standpoint. I mean, it reminds me of some, like, Samurai Champloo episodes where, like, I hate to get off topic, but, like, Jean's, like, brothel girlfriend, she was trying to escape. Whereas in, like, this show, it's like, it almost felt like an honor, like a badge of honor.
Right.
In a way. At least that's how it was coming across.
Definitely.
I mean, they still address that, these women are paying off the debts of the husbands or whatever the case. However they get there, it's not very pleasant, But regardless, they go undercover to find this potentially upper-ranked demon that's snagging everyone or, like, making people go missing. And then that's when we get to introduce to what we assume is the big bad of the season, Daki. She is, one of those bratty demons. She comes off like a super bitch. Like, just do not cross her or, she will not take it very well.
Actually, I mean, it's one thing I wanted to touch on too. Maybe a tad bit before this, like when they really get into the entertainment district arc, was Muzan, because we're talking about we're talking about levels. Y'all saw what he did to Akaza, right? Like that, we've just seen what he did to Rengoku.
Yeah.
Muzan did not even move. He looked at him.
Yeah.
Straight just used a ki like Dragon Ball Z, and it just messed him up.
And then he started like just falling apart.
Man, this man like Amaterasu times like Genjutsu times 5,000. I don't know, man. Like I was like, okay, yeah, okay, no.
Speaking of Muzan, I have questions. Like, you know, I know he likes to take on different forms, but I'm like, what's with the little kid get up? You know?
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be like an adult, like in the previous?
Yeah, I was like, what happened to his
season?
wife and child?
He was Michael Jackson in last season, and now he's
Last season.
I don't know.
Now
what
he's
he
a
is
little
now.
kid.
Now he's just a kid.
Well, at least initially. Then he goes back, reverts back to Michael Jackson when you see him like in the later stuff.
You know,
Like, later
I kind
on
of
in the
feel
season.
like he's using his ability to shapeshift to infiltrate multiple families to figure out a way to get rid of his weaknesses. Because they were talking about that for a little bit with the Flowers, and his family was trying to come up with a way to get rid of his disease.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
Okay.
right.
That is, yeah, what they assume was a disease, and it's very possible. You know, that's a good theory.
And he was going through their books, like that was like those weren't fiction, those were research books about the
Oh
Flowers.
yeah, for sure.
Right.
My question is though, if he's able to multiply himself a little bit, like to live these dual lives often, or I don't know. There's a lot of mystery with that character still. So I was just like, what happened to his wife? Like, why is he a little kid? That was a little strange to me.
My initial theory would be like, well, you know, you never know. I mean, we maybe behind the scenes, you know, got found out, or you know, he had to kill him off for some reason. You know, got to go to another family. You know, I don't know.
I'm sure manga readers have know all about this. You know, considering the manga is finished.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, we're reviewing season 2, so that's where we're at right now.
I only brought him up because when you mentioned Daki, because I believe in there he visited her as well. If I'm
Yes.
remembering
Either in a
that
flashback
correctly.
or something like that. But there was a meeting. Yes.
And again, she was very terrified of him as well. So
Big boss man.
Yeah, big boss man, but for good reason. Because like I said, I don't think I've seen somebody strike fear into somebody like that. Just looking at her, he didn't even move. I was like, man, hold on, let me watch this again. He didn't move.
Yeah, and that's just all the beginning stuff. But moving through the plot, you know, there's a lot of infiltration going on. We discover that Daki's like hidden power, which is like to put people in this her little cloak, her loincloth, or
Like a
what was that? Her
belt or
belt?
something.
It was her
belt.
belt.
Sash.
Belt, yeah.
Yeah, and that was. So my question is, did that belt have a mind of its own? Because you see later on that it was like essentially fighting.
She was talking to it. I don't actually know.
There was a core, I thought, like a core to the belt that made it do its thing, I thought. That's how I understood it, at least.
I mean, that would make sense, you know, but that was a little bizarre. But then again, you know, Daki's more than just one demon, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a feeling that Zenitsu would have like a pivotal moment later in the series or later in the season, like when it comes to the final battle, considering like he really got under her skin and you know, like saved that one little girl from just, you know, getting her ear ripped off practically.
Can he just stay asleep for long periods of time? Is that just a
Basically.
thing? Okay, because I didn't know if I missed a montage or a training arc where he learned to control that or do more with it or something. Because the last time that I remember him using that power, it was kind of like on the fly, like it was willy-nilly. But now it seems a lot more like, okay, now I'm asleep. Now I can go and do all of my things.
Seems more in control while he's
Yeah.
asleep, but you know, he's still technically asleep, but he's just that much better, of course, because of his training.
I would like to sign up for Zenitsu's sleep training program.
I feel like
kidding.
it's like a fight or flight that just like kicks in, but he doesn't want to fight, so he just shuts himself off. Like he just turns off, and then his body's like, all right, I got this, and then just takes over and does everything for him.
Okay, now that you've explained it that way, I am all in on this now.
We talking about Zenitsu's training, but Inosuke was like making me laugh all season long with like, you know, fixing his body to go through the holes, and he's like, yeah. What the?
Do you know how?
Man,
Okay,
it's hilarious.
I'm claustrophobic, and how horrifying would that be if you got stuck halfway and you couldn't
Oh,
wiggle
God.
out? I was like, oh god, no. Just give me. I don't want this. Just get him out of there.
He's burrowing like a snake, just going through all these holes.
It
Without
was
a care in the
goofy
world.
though. I did like that.
Hell yeah. Inosuke's my boy still. He's the most
know.
entertaining character of the three,
Easily.
for sure.
He is.
And then we get to like the first fight. You had Tanjiro versus Daki, while it was Zenitsu and Inosuke saving Makio and the other wife. I think
Suma.
Yeah, Suma.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were trying to. So it was like we didn't know if like the people in that belt were dead or not. But I guess as soon as you escape the power, you come back. What she does is that she holds them there. They're just asleep for her to eat later. I think that's how she explained it.
Yes, and Zenitsu got caught himself.
Yeah, he did. That was an ending to an episode. It's like, oh shit, that man is busted.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me. Oh, go ahead, brother.
I was I can't imagine going a week long with that kind of cliffhanger. I had the luxury of running through the entire season. But having to sit on that for a week, that was...
Yeah, luckily I let it build up a little bit, so I was blowing through like a few at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then getting to it later, but I'm glad like the last 4 episodes I was just able to just kind of watch through because the week to week with that, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. I was about to say, I know Birdman was watching it with me week to week.
Week to week, yeah.
Hype, and they just leave you on, oh my gosh.
Especially on episode 10 where they did that false ending. It's like, well, everybody's dead. Later, guys. See you next
Yeah.
God.
That was...
that was insane.
I legitimately had to stop. I'm like, there's more to this, right? Like, it did not just go credits.
And the fire's dying down. You're like,
Is this it?
Yeah, for real.
No, there's 2 more episodes of this. They gotta do something else with this.
You go back and you watch it again. It's like, nope, he really did get stabbed through the heart. What?
Yeah.
What?
Right. But I guess circling back to like that first initial fight, you got to at least see Tanjiro awaken a little bit more of his Hinokami Kagura, as they call it, and just freaking wail on Daki, and you're like, man, this man has taken on an upper 6. He was doing very well for himself. Of course, he had to stop and breathe. That's like the only drawback to it at the moment, but he was about to get his ass whooped, or actually I would say he was about to get pretty much killed right there, and then all of a sudden Nezuko comes out and just saves the day, and you're like, okay, I don't know if she has much of a chance, but then she is grown. She just unleashes her demon powers, and
we're just sitting here like, she's an upper 6.
Yeah, like legitimately, she just comes out. I'm like, can you just, y'all are missing out on this one.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, hold on, is Nezuko like some kind of fucking vegan demon or something? Like, she don't eat people, but all of a sudden she pops out the box and it's just a beast. And she's out here, her limbs getting chopped off and heals instantly, kicking people across like football field lengths of the city. I'm like, I don't understand it. How is she so strong?
We didn't really get to see her fight Gyutaro, so we don't actually know where she falls in the power scaling.
That's true.
It's hard to say at the moment, but Daki did mention that her regeneration powers are definitely that of an upper 6, better than hers.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That. Yeah. So, and then of course it's curious because she's the only one that's escaped Muzan's control, so we don't know what kind of like how special she is, but she's definitely special.
She was beating the brakes off Daki though.
Oh, she was getting sadistic too. She was smiling and enjoying that.
Yeah, and then they had the family in the house and the blood, and then she just lost it.
She was about to go and eat some people. Yeah, if it wasn't for Tanjiro coming in.
Blood in the water.
Oh God, yeah. And then of course Uzui comes in and just takes over, just slices off Daki's head. That was kind of a funny gag. God damn it, my head.
Yeah.
Not my head again.
You know what that reminded me of? This is an old thing, but do you remember in the Dark Tournament in Yu Hakusho when Hiei was fighting some random demon? And the demon goes, well, aren't you going to fight, or aren't you going to slash me? I already did. And he's like holding his arm like, I already won.
Yeah.
Like,
I already won.
I'm like, it was kind of like that, where he's like, I already killed you. Like,
yeah.
Omae wa mou shinderu.
Nani?
Basically.
And all the mess she's talked to, like, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight at Hashira and all this stuff. Like, he's like, man, you're not an upper rank demon.
He was bringing her down to size. Like, you're trash. Like, get out of here. And she was very bratty about it too. She started throwing a temper tantrum, and then that's when you find out the real big bad is Gyutaro.
The twist.
What a twist!
Right.
Yeah, they like doing these little twist third acts, don't they? Same thing with Mugen Train. The twist here
true.
was that they were a brother-sister combo as the upper six, and so that was kind of neat. And he is a very disturbed individual with these like badass little sickles that poison people went and cut up Uzui a bit, and he started getting poisoned. So you knew it was only a matter of time. I was thinking this is going to be a Rengoku situation all over again.
Yeah, his mannerisms too. I mean, I know, a lot of these demons. I know in the Mugen Train discussion I talked about Inmus, but like for him, like the scratching of his face.
It's like a damn crack addict.
This man Tyrone Biggums.
I was thinking that too. I was like, Chappelle skit. So man. Oh, but yeah. I mean, of course, we get to learn about him a little bit more in the final episode. But as a demon form, he's very envious. Let's just say of Uzui. Him and his demeanor. And another funny running gag is like, oh, you got 3 wives, you bastard. Zenitsu was one of them. And then they reiterated with Gyutaro there. He was extremely envious. It's like, oh, you must have everything, don't you? You got 3 wives.
That was something I was going to touch on too. Is that I'm actually I'm really glad that they decided to do a poly relationship with Tengen and his wives. Like they were part of a bit gag and they were part of some jokes and stuff, but they do explore a little bit more about how that dynamic works with them and how that ended up becoming a thing where all 4 of them have come from a different time where that was just the expected or that was the norm for some families. And to see that portrayed in a positive manner is a good step forward. I'm not saying it's gonna shake worlds or whatever, but the fact that it's out there in modern media is something good to at least recognize.
You get to explore the different personalities of the wives. Suma was like my favorite. Her personality was just so bubbly and out there, and just she gave me the most laughs. She was basically female Zenitsu. I think that's what it was like. I think that's essentially what they were mirroring was the 3 leads in a way, but like here's their female versions if they existed.
Right.
Yeah, but moving on. Once everyone got into the fight, you got Zenitsu and Inosuke taking on Daki, and then of course you had Uzui versus Gyutaro. It was kind of cool that they had like the double fights going on, and then Tanjiro goes and helps Inosuke and Zenitsu fight Daki, and they pretty much got her beat. And then you look over, and all of a sudden it was a twist ending. Like Gyutaro comes up and just like slices Inosuke like right through the heart, and you're like, what happened to Uzui? And you look, and he looks pretty much dead. Like missing an arm. He looks incapacitated. That ending to that episode was probably one of the most surprising that I've had in all of Demon Slayer. It's you thought the heroes are gonna win. Nope. Everyone's getting messed up.
And Tanjiro just falling, and he's like, "It's my fault." Like, it's like, I should have been there for Uzui. Like, I should have been there, and it's just, and it's Zenitsu pushes him out of the way, like, of an attack that he takes. Like, I'm like, man. That was tough week to week.
Yeah, tough week to week. And then you go to the next episode, he wakes up, Daki and Gyutaro are just sitting there, perfectly fine. Everyone is pretty much incapacitated. It's only Tanjiro left. Things are not looking good.
Hopelessness right there. That was a helplessness episode, like where it's like, I guess hopelessness, because he's just like, what are you gonna do now? There's nothing you can do.
God, when Gyutaro like got his 2 fingers, like his index and middle finger, and just bent them backwards.
That was bad.
Oh God, yeah.
But Tanjiro still, he still got up, and he's just kind of. It looks like he's just running, like he's running from the fight.
Yeah.
And then it just had him, basically trapped him like through the what did he throw at him?
The kunai.
That's right. It was the poison. The poison.
Kunai.
Yep. It's like this kid just does not give up.
That was smart.
By far, that was my favorite episode, probably in the entire show so far, is Never Give Up, because that summarizes the entire feel of the entire episode. Is just that one last iota of hope. You got to keep going. You got to keep pressing on with it. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the fighting game scene, but there is an Evo moment out there a Street Fighter tournament that played with one of the best players in the world, was fighting an underdog, and it's called moment number 37, the Daigo parry, where the underdog was already written off. He was in his last round, and he had one little sliver of health left, and the other guy had all of his stuff lined up, and everyone assumed he was going to win. As he comes to close out the match, the underdog Justin Wong pulls off a godlike parry block where he parries 14 individual times perfectly, blocks every single move, doesn't lose any health, gets back on his feet, and wins the entire tournament with like one last combo. And it was, the whole room exploded with like, just because no one saw that coming. And Justin Wong still carries that moniker of never give up, never lose hope, and it still reflect. I know that was a bit of a tangent from a video game perspective, but I thought about that moment, like Tanjiro is doing the exact same thing, where it's just a never give up moment. Like, it doesn't matter how much is down, you keep going through, you find that last bit of strength to keep pressing through.
That's the thing. You know, in anime, like that never give up, we call them like the shonen moments, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you see Naruto, Luffy, and them do it. I think Demon Slayer did a really good job here, because the thing was, it's kind of like you knew there was going to be a moment, but you didn't know how. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I could not figure out how he was going to get out of this situation. And like Birdman was saying, he's running away, looks like he's just running, and you know, it just looks like very hopeless. Like I'm like, I don't know, like I'm like is Uzui, you know, they're gonna get up, like somebody, like what's gonna happen here?
You're waiting for something to happen, like a Nezuko or Uzui.
Yeah.
No, it was all Tanjiro.
It was all him, and you know, and he like he said, kind of gave that opening for the comeback. Definitely a really, really good never give up moment.
I mean, yeah, that episode blew up Twitter again, much like episode 19 of the original series. In fact, there was a little funny meme of like a, what was it, Toy Story, where he's dropping Woody, like, I don't want to play with you anymore. That was episode 19, season 1. And we got a new toy, and that's this episode, Never Give Up. Just from the get-go, like the animation, like once the fight started resuming and Zenitsu goes in there and, like, you know, starts slashing up Daki again, and, like, you know, he's on his last legs too, literally. You know, his legs broken, and you know, he only has one more good clean shot at it. And then you got, of course, like the hype moment, like Uzui comes back and starts fighting Gyutaro again, and then of course, you know, you have the hype moment where guess what, Inosuke's fine. He's like,
yeah, I can just move my organs.
Yep, he said I move my organs.
My organs.
Didn't you watch the episode like a couple weeks ago where I told you I could do this?
Yeah, exactly.
I told you I could do this.
I told you. I set it up for this moment. And then they're going all hype, like, you know, the drawings get all chaotic, and like, you know, it's like an epic climax fight, and the animation is just going insane, you know, and you see everything from just, you know, Uzui getting his eyes sliced up, like all these demon slayers are just at their last leg, you know, they could just croak at any moment.
We still watching Mugen Train.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, you know, that climax, of course, you know, everything explodes and you think everyone's dead. That has got to be the ultimate, like, what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
Bruh, because that's the thing. Finally, Tanjiro got his moment. Like, finally. Because we thought it was going to be with the spider demons in season 1, and it kind of got, you know, taken away from him.
True.
And this one, he finally gets it. He finishes it. I mean, he got to get impaled in his jaw to do it, but he did it. And it was you know, good to see, you know, a good feel-good moment. I know, not getting too much off topic, but I know Penn has something to say about Deku and not having moments. But yeah, Tanjiro had his moment much sooner.
He really did.
Yeah.
He got fucking ripped off in that first season. I'm still mad about it.
He did.
It's been like a year now.
Yeah, I really wanted him to have that moment, and yeah, it got taken.
Well, they made up for it in the end.
They did,
with an even bigger moment, if you think about it.
Because this is this is upper 6, man.
It's just a crazy ending.
Yeah, just the amount of damage that everyone took, and just he's got his mouth and, you know, like his jaw.
Did he tie his thing to his hand? He tied like his.
Yeah, he tied his sword to his hand.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I think the thing I love the most about Demon Slayer is like the stakes are definitely higher. Not giving up matters a lot more. When like he walked up to the upper moon, and it's like, man, I got this, and he got hit once. He's like, man, I'm fucked. I can't feel my back. I can't get up. I can't feel my hands.
Yeah. It really that's what Demon Slayer does really well. It really shows you the power scaling. Like, oh yeah, these demons are so much stronger than you. You basically got to get lucky or use your wit or all the above to escape out of this alive.
Yeah, for sure. And even like I said, he gets his moment, and it's still not done. I mean, he's poisoned beyond belief, and obviously he's crazy exhausted. He's like, he couldn't even understand what Uzui was saying. Like,
he was
he's
gone.
just on
That
his
man was
knees,
gone.
and his arms are just down. I'm like, yeah,
That
he's
freaking
done.
ending though, that one got me too. Dude, Uzui is just telling him to run because it's not over, and then just explosion.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so glad I let that one build. Melissa and I just looked at each other like, we're watching the next one. Go.
Yo, I sit there for a week. Like, what happened?
Brown Bear
And-
probably the same.
What happened?
Yeah, definitely. Some of those cliffhanger episodes, man. I'm like, no, I gotta get to the next one. Like, we gotta finish this.
I gotta go. Yeah, gotta finish. Yeah, and then they had that extended last episode where basically it shows the backstory between Gyutaro and Daki. Yeah,
They did this so well.
They do, because it really brings you back down to the Demon Slayer always does it, and you forget how much compassion goes into Demon Slayer and making you feel for not just the good guys but also the demons.
They were
and
people.
just showing the tragedy. You know, exactly.
Straight up, he's like, yeah, Tanjiro, you just broke my fingers, like beat the hell out of me, but hey, be nice to your sister, and yeah, like I mean, yeah, you're about to go to hell because I killed you, but be nice to your sister.
I know you've killed like 20 pillars at this point, but you know.
Yeah.
It's essentially looking at a mirror of like if Tanjiro also got turned into a demon along with Nezuko, that's how they would be. Would be Gyutaro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe a little less bratty. And,
Yeah.
you know, a little less immature, but he knew exactly. No one else is going to forgive you except for, you know, you two only have each other, and
Right.
even like went on into the next world where, you know, you see he's trying to leave Daki just to go to the light. Like, this is where we separate, and she chooses to stay with him. You know, so that was a moment, touching moment.
Yeah.
I feel a good moment for
Can
sure.
we also talk about vegan Nezuko with her powers, and she just erased the poison from everybody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she
I got
saved
this
the
now.
day.
Like,
Yeah,
She has the
that
blood
was
demon art
the
of the sun. That doesn't make sense.
just shows up in her little kid form, just like, let me just go ahead and I'll fix this for you real quick.
I have
not
lots
poison.
of questions about the poisons that were used, because apparently poison just doesn't matter or have as much weight. Because apparently Tanjiro could just stop the poison by breathing.
Yeah, if you breathe, if you live on a mountain, or if you're a ninja, you just don't.
Or yeah, if you live in a mountain, you're fine.
I would relive those powers. Oh, I need to stop this blood clot. All right, I'm good.
Yep.
Fucking keeling over and dying doesn't affect me. I'm fine.
Oh no, I just have to breathe, guys. I got this.
Yeah, for real though. And like I said, yeah, Nezuko just going around everybody. All right, you're not poisoned anymore. All right, you're not poisoned anymore.
That was a hilarious gag moment. Let me tell you my final words, you know, to the wives, and the wives are like crying, and she's like, "Well, I guess I'm just gonna die
I'm
here
dying
without
here.
saying anything."
This is how I die.
And Nezuko's like, "I'm gonna just heal you, set you on fire," and then Suma's like, "Oh my god,
What the heck?
he's not dead yet. Don't cremate him."
Yeah, that was a little fun moment.
Yeah, like they were very entertaining. But we have Uzui, who basically can't fight anymore. He's like, "Yeah, I'm retired. We're gonna live ordinary lives." But at least they survived, and that was the thing. Like, none of them died. Like, they were expecting one of them to die. They were ready to lay their lives on the table, but they can go and live like ordinary people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also with Kaguya at the end as well, like just being surprised. I mean, they hadn't killed an upper rank in I forgot how many years he said.
And I'm glad you brought up Kaguya, because like the head honcho Hashira guy, because you know that's when you learn, at least in the anime plot, that Muzan is actually related to their clan. yeah, it's interesting to see how that happened, how that developed, and get a little bit more backstory on that. You know, I didn't put two and two together, but now that I see them, I'm like, oh, they do look very similar.
And Uzui also kind of hinted at who he thinks should be the next Hashira.
Exactly. He knows this next generation, you know, with all their talents. That's his whole gripe. You know, he kept thinking to himself, like, he's not as talented or as powerful or something, but he was still good in his own right. And he even had a cool little flashback with Rengoku where he talks about him, and then you get to see Rengoku like, hey, you're valid, man. You just have too many wives, but you're valid.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like another cool callback to Rengoku, which was spread out throughout the rest of the season. They didn't forget about him, which I'm glad. You know, his presence was still there and still felt. And that basically wraps up the Entertainment District arc. It was a crazy, wild ride, but
Yes,
very
it
enjoyable.
was.
Yep.
I didn't exactly know where it was going. Much like Mugen arc, I had my reservations. Like, okay, so what are they gonna do in the red light district? You know, Daki, is that the main bad? Like, you know, like going in, the premise seems like, I wouldn't say weak, but there could be more to it, and they always come out with a lot more than you expect. Just like the Mugen Train, where you're like, is this all gonna be on a train? What's going on? It's hard to fight in a train.
Yeah. But Demon Slayer delivers again, man.
It delivers again. You can see why it's so.
And then some.
Why it's so mainstream. Deservingly, I mean, like the animation's top tier. Music is fantastic as always. Yuki Kaijira does a great job. It really gets you in the moment. Just everything about it is very well done, and there's a lot of care and effort put into it. You can just tell. And of course, we have season 3 confirmed, so we get to see a little bit more with 2 other Hashira.
Isn't it finally Mitsuri's time? The Love Hashira?
Love Hashira, yep. And also the Serpent Hashira,
Yep.
Iguro.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I am curious to see what happens there. Overall thoughts on season 2 of Demon Slayer?
Hype. Yeah.
Pretty damn good. Everybody go watch it. I'm sure Demon Slayer fans, they're eating good. They're eating good right now, let me just say.
It's a good time in the anime right now because we still got Attack on Titan, but that's a whole nother talk for another day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother mainstream juggernaut title. So many great anime out there. Those are just like the big juggernaut mainstream titles. So, I mean, anime's in a good spot.
Yep.
Well, this has been R&M discussion on Demon Slayer Season 2. Once again, thank you so much for watching this edition of R&M Roundtable. We want to do another quick shout out to our patron, Thomas Holdsworth. We appreciate the continued support. If you'd like to join our Patreon to get exclusive content early, you can always follow the link below. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with our videos. And as always, remember to join the nation to continue the conversation. This is Mugen signing off.